So here's the thing about me. I'm genuinely, deeply, fundamentally incapable of doing anything with my hands. And I don't mean like, oh, I'm not great at fixing stuff. I mean, I'm the kind of person who can turn a simple task into a full-blown disaster in ways that would make a professional contractor weep. I'm 25 years old, and I've spent the last few years learning this lesson over and over again. And honestly, I'm still not sure I've actually learned it. It all started about 6 months ago when I noticed my kitchen sink was dripping. Just a tiny drip. Once every 10 seconds. Nothing major, right? I remember standing there, looking at it, thinking, you know what? I can fix this. It's just a faucet. How hard could it be? Spoiler alert, it was very hard. I watched a YouTube video. One video that was my entire preparation. The guy in the video made it look so easy. He had this calm, confident energy, like he'd been fixing faucets since birth. He was like, just turn this valve, unscrew that part, replace the cartridge, and boom, you're done. Took him maybe 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I got this. I'm basically a plumber now. I was not basically a plumber. I got under the sink, and immediately I couldn't find the valve he was talking about. There were like 6 valves under there. I didn't know there could be that many valves in one place. I started turning them randomly, which, in retrospect, was not the move. Within 30 seconds, water started spraying everywhere. And I mean everywhere. It was like someone had turned my kitchen into a water park, except the water was cold and I was panicking. I'm scrambling, trying to turn the valves back, but now I can't remember which ones I turned. I'm soaking wet. There's water pooling on my kitchen floor, and I'm making these weird, stressed out noises that my roommate heard from 3 rooms away. He came running in, thinking someone was dying. Nope, just me, destroying my kitchen one valve at a time. I eventually got the water to stop, I think. I just turned every single valve until something worked, but by that point, I'd already flooded the cabinet under the sink, ruined a bunch of cleaning supplies, and somehow managed to bend the pipe in a way that made the original drip look like a luxury problem. That's when I called a plumber. He fixed it in 7 minutes. 7. And he charged me $150 just to show up. But you know what? Worth it. Absolutely worth it. But did I learn my lesson? Course not. A few weeks later, I decided I was going to assemble this bookshelf I'd bought from IKEA. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dude, it's IKEA. It's literally designed for people who can't do anything. And you're right. You're absolutely right. But somehow, I still managed to mess it up. I laid out all the pieces on my living room floor. There were like 47 pieces, I counted. I had the instruction manual, which was just pictures, no words, just pictures, and I was feeling pretty confident. I was like, okay, this is going to be easy. I'm going to build this bookshelf, and it's going to look great, and I'm going to feel accomplished. 2 hours later, I had built something. Sure what it was, but it definitely wasn't a bookshelf. It was like a bookshelf's weird cousin. It was lopsided. One of the shelves was backwards, And somehow, and I still don't understand how this happened, I had extra pieces left over. Extra pieces. How do you have extra pieces when you're following a picture-based instruction manual? I tried to fix it. I really did. I took it apart and tried again, but the second time, I somehow made it worse. The whole thing was now leaning to the left, like it was perpetually confused about which way to go. I put a book on one of the shelves to test it, and the entire structure shifted. Just shifted. Like it was alive and uncomfortable. That bookshelf is still in my apartment. It's still lopsided. I've just accepted it as part of my decor now. It's like a modern art piece. Existential bookshelf, I call it. It really makes you think about the nature of structure and stability. But wait, there's more. Last month, I decided I was going to paint my bedroom. Just paint it. That's it. Paint is literally just putting color on a wall. How hard could it be? I bought a gallon of this nice blue paint. Got a roller, got a brush. Watched another YouTube video, because apparently I never learned. I was ready to go. I taped off the edges, moved my furniture, and I was feeling good. I was feeling like maybe, just maybe, I was finally going to do something right. I opened the paint can, and the lid came off so fast that paint splattered everywhere. On my clothes, on my hair, on my carpet. There was a moment where I just stood there, covered in blue paint, staring at my carpet, and I could feel something inside me just break a little bit. But I pushed through. I was determined. I was going to paint this room if it killed me. I started rolling the paint on the wall, and at first, it looked great. I was like, oh, this is actually working. I'm doing it. I'm actually doing it. But then I realized I'd painted myself into a corner. Literally, I'd painted the wall in a way that I couldn't get out of the room without stepping in wet paint. So I had to carefully navigate my way out, stepping on the one dry spot I'd left, and I almost fell. I almost fell into my own freshly painted wall. When the paint dried, it looked fine. Actually, it looked really good. I was shocked. I was like, wait, did I actually do something right? But then I noticed that I'd somehow painted over the light switch. The light switch was now blue. I had to scrape the paint off with a knife, and now the light switch looks like it's been through a war. And then, of course, I realized I'd only painted 3 walls. I'd completely forgotten about the 4th wall. So now my room looks like it's half finished, like I got bored halfway through and just gave up. Which, to be fair, I kind of did. You think that's bad? Hold on. I tried to fix a hole in my wall once. Just a small hole, maybe the size of a quarter. I bought some of that spackling paste stuff, watched a video I know, and I was ready to go. The video made it look so easy. Just fill the hole, let it dry, sand it down, paint over it. Done. I filled the hole, but I filled it too much. Way too much. The spackling paste was bulging out of the wall like the wall was growing a tumor. I tried to smooth it down, but I just made it worse. I ended up with this weird, lumpy texture that looked like the wall had some kind of skin condition. I tried to sand it down, but I didn't have sandpaper, so I used a kitchen sponge. A kitchen sponge on my wall. It didn't work. It just made the wall wet and lumpy. So I let it dry, and now there's this weird, hardened bump on my wall that I've just decided to ignore. I put a poster over it. Problem solved? Sort of. Here's the thing though, and I think this is important. I've learned something from all of this. Not that I should stop trying, because apparently, I'm incapable of learning that lesson, but that there's actually something kind of beautiful about knowing your limits. There's something honest about looking at a task and being like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm going to call someone who actually knows what they're doing. It took me a while to get there. It took a flooded kitchen, a lopsided bookshelf, a half-painted bedroom, and a wall with a tumor to realize that asking for help isn't a failure. It's actually the smartest thing I can do. So now, when something breaks, I don't immediately jump into YouTube video mode. I take a breath, I think about it, and then I call a professional. And yeah, it costs money, but it also costs a lot less than replacing my entire kitchen or my sanity. I'm still going to try DIY stuff sometimes. I'm sure I will, because apparently I'm a slow learner, and I'm optimistic in a way that borders on delusional. But at least now, when I inevitably mess it up, I know exactly who to call. And that person is definitely not me.